My editor reached out to me about the introduction recording for this episode, which I did not purposely forget. But when he reminded me that I needed to do that, I was like, okay, well, then I have to watch the episode in order to do the introduction. And I just finished the episode and I already knew it would feel very revealing and exposing. And you can tell by my nervous laughter throughout that I felt that in the moment as well. This was an episode that what I thought would highlight Mike, but it still inadvertently did do that because it is who he is in real time, bringing out what people aren't necessarily saying out loud, which is with his questions, his curiosity, and his overall demeanor. I referred to him as a sensei, a monk, a guru, but ultimately he just has experiences and that gives him a knowing that allows other people to know themselves as well. On his LinkedIn page, it says, I work with entrepreneurs, leaders, and coaches to help them create true freedom, personally and professionally. My focus is simple yet profound to bless the present moment, love my family unconditionally, and guide others in creating their own freedom in every aspect of life. And creative freedom is such an appropriate name for what he does because freedom doesn't just happen. You have to create the environment. You have to be willing to reveal who you are. There's a lot of creative process in becoming free. And I think you'll see that in this episode. I very much remember a turning point in my life conversation with Mike. And that was when he was kind of asking me where my fear was coming from because I felt like I couldn't take another risk. I felt like I couldn't make another decision that could possibly affect other people because I had made a bad choice in way back when and it had created a lot of difficulty, a huge domino effect for so many people. So I was like risk adverse and just going to keep a low profile and just do what I'm told, which everybody knows that's not really part of my personality, but it's what I had accepted based on the consequences. And he was going to allow me to sit in that, but also challenge me in the process and has been very patient as I have progressed and come to this place in life. So you will get to know Mike even though he's not necessarily telling all about himself, but he gives you the ingredients for freedom in this conversation.
Welcome to Pursuing Joy, where we discuss audacious stories of joy-infused strength. Welcome to Pursuing Joy, where we discuss audacious stories of joy-infused strength. I have Mike Kotsis here, and he is part of an organization, the founder of Created Freedom, and is always staying curious. So I love your shirt. The way that I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, because I'm also curious about this, is how do you, when someone says, Mike, what do you do on an airplane or out and about at the grocery store? How do you introduce yourself or explain what you do?
I work with people and become present to the person that's in front of me. And I help others to do the same. And the outcome of that is a greater freedom in our own lives, starting with my own. if I can be free to be with the person in front of me, and they can be free to be with the person in front of them, whether it's their spouse, their children, their clients, anybody else, without the inside noise taking us offline, that's where miracles occur.
Okay, I would agree with that. What what is, in your opinion or your experience, when do you know that you're present?
When I'm not thinking,
Oh, no.
when I'm not trying to figure out my answers, when when I don't have a bunch of notes in front of me and trying to hit all the points, it's when I can just be and respond to what's occurring right now and be okay with it, even if I wanted to do something else.
Okay. And what would you say made you realize the need for that? What got you there? If there's a process or, an epiphany or, you woke up one morning and was like, "I did it. I'm present."
I'm still learning. It's a practice. It's a practice that I am learning every day and relearning every day. There wasn't one single moment, but I will tell you that it unfolded just from this incessant need of control and planning my life personally and professionally. I had our plan figured out for our business. I had our plan with our family, taught planning to businesses, taught planning to families. So everything was about the plan, and everything was coming to fruition in great ways. But there was a period where I just kind of hit my own ceiling in my life, and it was just everything was a lot more complicated. It took a lot more energy and a lot more effort, and it didn't all fit in the plan perfectly. And I reached out and I asked for help. And so for me, that help came in the form of Steve Chandler coaching me. And in our conversations, I remember showing him my plan, my business plan and my personal plan. This is what I'm up to. And he didn't even read it, which, as you can
Oh.
imagine, I got irritated. Um, but he just asked me the simple question. He said, "Why are you doing this?" And Julia, it hit me at the right time, right place. And I just said, "I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I could have given you 100 reasons why I was doing this up until this point. But at this moment, I started to see something deeper. I couldn't put my finger on what it was. Looking back on it, what I see in it is that I was inadvertently putting my happiness out in front of me. I was putting it out there in the attainment of the goals I would set. So a financial goal, when I get my financials to a certain point, then I can breathe. Or when then we can go on vacation, whatever it is. You put it in the blank, and that was what was creating restriction within me. I was so focused on the things I wanted to create, I wanted to do, that I was missing the miracles of God all around me. And when we stopped the planning, no, you can take a good thing and take it too far. That's what I felt like I did within myself. Planning's not bad, not wrong. It's very useful. But if I make it all about the plan, I miss what's going on right now. So I realized we had the perfect plan for all the things happening, except for I was not present with my family, with my wife, with the person in front of me. I'm thinking about what's next, where I got to go, what I got to do, what the next thing is. And it's not that I don't have an intention. I clearly have an intention to serve going forward. I just hold it a lot more lightly now. I hold the outcome very lightly so that I can have an intention now to move into a direction and be open with what occurs in front of me.
Okay.
That's what started.
Okay. Do you ever feel a tension, not a tension, a tension, TENSION, uh, between who you are now and who you were then? As in, maybe if you're triggered or something, a desire to use an old coping mechanism. Do you ever feel that tension?
Yeah, I feel. I mean, there's old habitual ways of being from my life that that come up that are not useful. The clinging to financial safety, as a way of thinking like, oh, then I'll be okay if this all flows right now. That's not useful. And it happened. And it comes in the form of tension inside my body. To me, I didn't know why I grabbed this, but I grabbed this. Have I showed this to you before?
I met
This,
possibly. I have
the,
seen
the,
this.
the sphere ball, right? The sphere ball, in when I expand it, it goes like this, right? And it becomes very porous and things can get in and out. But when it's closed, things can't go in and out of it very easily. And so I liken this to what happens to my body when I'm under tension. If I am trying to control or resist what's happening in front of me, my body gets tight, I get closed, and so does my thinking. It gets closed, it gets stuck. But this is the opportunity to practice. I breathe and it expands, and everything starts to flow again. And I can take action from that place without being so rigid about what I was so adamant to having to occur right now or not having to occur right now.
I Well, hold on. Let me think how I want to phrase this. Okay. So I am currently trying to decide two things. One, who my ideal client is based on how I want to do talent acquisition and who I want to do it for. And if I need a coach. Okay. And so I, as a whole, well, for one thing, the ideal client, I didn't realize was a thing. I mean, I've heard it talked about, but I was not aware of what was not my ideal client until recently. And in that, I have had some coaches come in my circle, and uh, as a whole, well, you already know this about me. I'm pretty adverse to anything that is said to me. Right. At the as in once it hits me, there's usually I'm opposed to whatever is being said to me, but it's something internally. But I tend to accept it more when I go about it that way. I don't know why I'm like that. I have a daughter that is very much like me in that respect, and I have learned that she holds on to the concepts more and trusts me more when she resists initially. It's like she has to go through a research process or an acceptance process, but she accepts it more deeply because of
Sure.
that. So, uh, one, who succeeds with you as a coach, and what was your journey to seeking out a coach?
Yeah. Who succeeds are people who are open, they're willing, they're not tied to an expectation of a specific outcome. They tend to be successful yet dissatisfied, a little bit restless on the inside. Overthinking, perfectionism tend to be traits. Um, again, going back to the unsettledness, like there's an unsettledness, whether it's in the quiet or like we can't be quiet. Like that's not, we just don't want to be quiet because we got to keep in motion. We got to keep going. Got to keep doing all the things. Um, but yet has a willingness and an openness to look at things from different perspectives. The one key is having a willingness to tell on the voice of shame and self doubt. Shame means I should have been able to do all this already myself. And self doubt is I can do this. I can do this on my own. I don't know what's wrong with me. I should have figured this out again. Very similar. And so having a willingness to speak that out and want a partner to help hold a loving space so that you can hear your own thinking clearly and help come to the place from your inner wisdom to take the action that you want to take without being told or advice given, and having a partner in this journey that's 100% for you. That's ideally who I love to work with.
Do you know, like, can you pick up on that initially, or is it through the process? Uh, have you have you self-selected out, or someone else selected out of the process?
Uh, it can happen both ways. It may not be a right timing. If someone's not ready to go the distance of really investing in themselves in this way, a lot of people are used to investing into programs. Like I'm going to go learn something. I'm going to go to this education thing, but they're not as used to putting themselves as the agenda, allowing their life to be front and center, to invest in the gold within them. They always think it's out there. If I get this thing, then I'll be okay. All these other things. But coming back here and have a willingness to go within is a rare find. And it's beautiful when someone is ready and willing. And yes, we through conversations that I have one to several freedom conversations with people that help to explore, to go deep. And we both either know like this is a journey that we want to embark on together, or something isn't right. We're not ready. I'm not even thinking about investing in myself. I haven't even thought about it in that way. And sometimes that comes to the surface.
Okay. So I had Eric Woodard that you introduced me to on the podcast, and so his guarantee is that he will get someone job seeking hired within 3 months. And I should have been prepared based on your introduction, but I was not prepared for how he did this. And he was basically telling me that there's tweaks on the resume that you can do. There's things that you can be coached through as far as interview and all that, but that's not his premise, right? It's really the mindset, the internal struggle. It's the head trash. And then things start maneuvering from there. And I'm in this, I don't know, maybe red pill, blue pill decision making. I buy into this to a point. And it's kind of behavior matching beliefs, because I have a belief system and I have seen it show up, but yet I want exactly what you're saying. I want the modules, right? But I also can feel a difference in myself right now. The doors have opened after a long year of silence. The silence was it completely tripped me up. It took me 6 to 7 months to get my central nervous system okay with that. And I was shaming myself for exactly that. And then now the doors are opening and striving is coming back in to play. And I did not do anything in the silence other than accept it for these doors to open. But now I'm back in striving mode, and exactly what you're saying, the presence, my present state with the people around me is not gone, but it isn't what it was. Is it, I won't say always, I don't like that word. Is it most of the time truly people getting in their own way based on their their thinking? Well, exactly what you said, the too much thinking. Does that really the the opening or the thing that has someone stuck? Is that typically what it is?
I can only speak from my experience.
Okay.
Like my experience is when I get into overthinking mode and I get into a lot of doing and I'm hungry, I'm tired, or I'm upset or lonely, like that's a bad combination. Like and that's when I get an all head and no heart. And nothing good comes from that place for me.
Mhm.
For me. And so sometimes for me, it's sort of just to go for a walk. When I'm walking outside, like everything starts flowing again. And then things start showing up. I feel better. Everything starts flowing. The right side and the left side of the hemisphere. There's actually a lot of science around it too. When I'm moving my right arm, my left arm back and forward, it activates the opposite sides of my brain. So if I'm stuck in doing, I'm in the left hemisphere of my brain. I'm in striving, I'm in achieving, I'm in doing mode. And the creative side, the right hemisphere, is not getting any oxygen or blood flow. And so when I get moving it up, something new always comes from that. A new inspiration, a new idea that I can actually hear and take action on. What's your experience? What do you notice?
Uh, I've just recently started because my podcast is my favorite thing to do every week. And I've since learned there's an art to the editing and how I want it to look, and I love collaborating, so I get to collaborate with my editor. I've started realizing I need to start my day with creating. That is something that I'm starting to realize. There's several ways that I like to start my day, and then something happens, I guess, as I'm nearing the end of the day where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what did I not do today?" And, uh, so I'm realized that. I have also with being completely immersed in working genius, I uh my geniuses are wonder and discernment, and my competencies are invention and galvanizing. And just based on a little bit of research, especially with working genius facilitators on my podcast and my children taking the working genius, I have discovered and believe that the two in the middle, the competencies, show up by environment, by responding to environment, possibly trauma. And I had a conversation with my brother recently who I thought was completely resilient. And he described an experience to me, and I was like, let's take the working genius assessment. And I'm like, okay, so this is there's something to this. And so what I'm realizing is, so invention and galvanizing is basically problem solving ideas and then rallying everybody around. Invention and galvanizing comes up when I'm not safe. That's what I have noticed. And I
Mm.
go into that or if I'm in a professional meeting and my wonder and discernment isn't being received well, then I go into invention and galvanizing because that's what has been valuable to other people in my past or what the environment has needed from me. Another example of this is that my oldest daughter's competencies are um, wonder and enablement. And I believe that that comes from the fact that dialoguing with me requires wonder or, having a presence with me. And then enablement is a no brainer because she's the second in command here. When I am like to me, you are the epitome of wonder and discernment. I don't have no idea what your geniuses are, but uh, and you create a presence that gives people, exactly, yes, curiosity, uh, it that gives people, time to chew and respond, right? And that is what I want. I want to be the person that gives people permission as well, to be themselves. But there's something in me that innately I don't crave the spotlight, but somewhere along the line someone told me that's what I needed to I needed that, or that was
Mm.
what was responded to, or that was what was valued in some
Sure.
way, but that's really not me. So these different things are showing up, and I'm in an accountability group right now. We read the book, The 12-Week Year, and we are now in the middle of 12 weeks, and I have an accountability partner calling me every morning. I have 2 goals, and I needed to go into these goals and start toward them to realize what my goals really were. Right? And I had to get into the skin of it. I had to walk a mile in it to see, okay, now that I'm feeling this and accomplishing this, is this really what I want to be
Mhm.
accomplishing? But I couldn't know without accomplishing it. So I'm having a bigger understanding of learning from failure at this point. It's not really failure because it's success.
Can I offer you something I'm hearing in that?
Yes.
That you had the goals that your mind made up, and you created the perfect system for making sure those goals were always present, and so your accountability system of, like, "These are the goals I'm doing," and in your mind, I'm guessing that accomplishing those goals, we imagine that something good is gonna happen from accomplishing those. Otherwise, why would we set them, right?
Right.
But then, as you said, when you started getting into it and feeling them, you used the words feeling them, your body resonance felt the truth that something wasn't aligned, and the real goal started emerging.
Right.
That's the place of presence.
Okay.
That's the place of presence when we feel the truth. Our body resonance is giving us messages all the time when we feel into, and I'm not talking about emotion like I feel like doing this or I don't feel like doing this. I'm talking about the truth of where something resonates. It's like, yeah, that doesn't resonate. That's not accurate. My mind made up what it thinks my heart needs to be free,
Mhm.
but it can't do that without the heart.
Okay. Yes. That that tracks. Definitely. Right. And the heart can't know until it knows.
The heart knows through experiencing.
Right.
Through the experience, there's a resonance, there's an openness or a closeness, there's a looseness or a tightness, there's a wonder and discernment, or a, "Ah, I'm gonna galvanize and innovate."
Right.
because that's where my mind, so that's where it rises up as a possibility.
Oh,
Galvanizing and innovating is going to rise up to my brain to figure out what it needs to do for me to feel okay, to feel relaxed, to feel present somewhere down there. The irony is that if I'm not feeling that right now, no matter what I do, I will never get that settledness. Because once I get there, even if I get what I want, it's going to be thinking, okay, what's next? It's not going to actually appreciate where I am.
right. Okay. I get that. Uh,
What do you
I'm
notice?
so uh, there's this. So I had to be told, not told, well, I didn't, I would have figured it out eventually, I hope. But I was gently told when I was with an integrator coach that I am a visionary. And that was that, and she knew enough to be gentle about it because that was devastating. It's devastating news, even though I knew that. And so as I have given myself permission to become an entrepreneur, as I've given myself permission to do things, even though the fruit isn't coming as rapidly as I want, there's also an internal process that is happening that is worth its weight in gold as well. I'm starting to realize, so driving, uh, walking, I like walking too, like the physical part of it. If I could burn calories driving, that would be really cool. But driving, especially as a mom of 4 children, I'm driving all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean the mom Uber.
Yes. And my children, I haven't really ever told them, that this is like they have obviously picked up on it because they completely do their own thing while I'm in the car. And my resting thoughts, right? Like what bubbles up when I'm not trying to think about anything. And it's all visions or wonder or curiosities or things like that. And things that I want to try and things that I want to do and the way that I would like to use my business. And I've noticed just more and more that that keeps happening just by giving myself permission to do that. It's not a thing that it's an automatic thing. Uh and there was another podcast guest that I had, and the podcast itself has just opened up so much wisdom, things I would have never known without talking to certain people, and I had no idea the way the conversations were going to go. But uh this person had showed me how he uses assessments in hiring, and was showing me something. I got really excited and like talked about certain ways that this could be used in overall hiring and different things like this. And then another conversation, I was like, and because I wanted to use what he was using or what he was doing. And he ended up, just based on how I was saying how effective this could be, building a software that is exactly what I needed. And he's using my different assessments to test it out. But I got very emotional about that. And I had to kind of dig in, like, what what is this? And it was because I had a thought and somebody, because I am not going to put any legs to that. It's not tenacity is my frustration. But somebody took something that was important to me, that was an idea of mine, that was something that came from me, and put something to it, built something around it. And that is what I want. I want that's what and there this is very abstract what I'm saying. This is all fairly recent. But that's the kind of organization, or I love collaborating. I don't really want to be a solopreneur. That's not really what I want. And working as a team into whatever comes up is how I would like to operate. And all of this is just by stepping into things, like you said, as they unfold. Because I'm very open to this journey. Well, I'm mostly open to this journey.
Aren't we all?
I'm like, I know I think I want this, but whatever avenue this takes me down, if it ends up in this, whatever this could be, then I'm okay with that too. I ultimately want, and something that I realized because I'm doing the Dream Manager is by Matthew Kelly. I'm going through a program, and I realized, so I've never been a mom, or when I was married, a wife that identified, or I didn't get my identity from those things. So I've been in plenty of mom circles that when you ask them how they are, they tell me how their husband is or how their kids are. They can't even articulate how they are. And
Sure.
that's always frustrated me. And then sometimes I've thought, is there something wrong with me that, what my kids produce, what they are, what their success is not linked to my success. It just isn't. But what I realized, because I had to come up with 100 dreams, which was insane.
Wow.
They are interlinked. The legacy is interlinked in every single one of my dreams, and it's not a success but it is what I'm trying to offer. I'm trying to offer a different way of life than what I was told. And I want their experiences. But I'm putting a lot of pressure on the success of what happens here, because I don't want them to see this as a negative, in the sense that you starting out on, you starting your own thing, if it didn't go well, or your choice, it can look very selfish, right? Like, this is mom's dream to do this and open this, and if it continues to take versus give, then I haven't ultimately succeeded in what I wanted from them, and I'll just have to save for the therapy bills.
What if you're already doing it right now?
For giving them a different script.
Yeah. By the way you're choosing to live your life right now. You've created this podcast. You've grown tremendously from the inside out from the time I've known you. And the permission you've given yourself to follow your heart and give yourself permission to explore, to play, as a possibility is the greatest teacher to your children that they could ever get from any lesson, by seeing you tap into what you love, regardless of whether it works or doesn't work. But if you love it, like you said, that this is the favorite part of your week, getting on the podcast, talking with somebody new, exploring, playing, creating, is a piece of your joy.
I would say they do see that. They notice a very different, to the point that I get called out when I am, the way that it's been described to me is that I'm acting as though I'm nervous about something, which it's when I'm grabbing for control. So I'm so out of that mode that they have called me out on that. So I can accept that. And I do not want them to associate this time period with time taken away from them, or being financially irresponsible. I don't want them to associate the dream with taking from them. And overall, I'm not, the word control comes up. I don't necessarily have control over that, but the perception of what I'm doing and the way that I'm managing it. Um, it's just it's that tension. It's exactly that. It feels even leading from rest or believing in rest, like so much abundance comes from just rest, but it feels like the most irresponsible thing.
Because it's not a doing.
Right.
And that's the habituated life story of the more I do or what I do and can be effective, the more my life is worth. And if I'm not doing, I must be worth less.
But there is an element. But I'm already know how I'm going to contradict myself.
It's going. The mind is going. It's on full gear.
There is an element of, because this is what, okay, so I was talking with a possible coach yesterday, and I already knew, I've had these conversations, so I already know at the price tag, I'm going to be like, oh, I want to, but, and the thing is, I am responsible. You are too. Responsible for the roof over everybody's head and the food on the table, right? And yet, last year, while nothing was moving and I had to sit in my silence and finally accept it, surrender, and get comfortable with it, everything was taken care of. Not in an overflow way, in a manna, not milk and honey, but manna.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess all of that is fine, but I want I want to I do want more. But I do associate the more with the doing. And I'm gonna have to think about that actually a little bit. Uh there is a piece that that is right there in the middle of where I am right now.
Mm.
That I had to accept in the silence, and there's something in the open doors, in the movement, the abundance. Um it's that it's all up to me mentality that
Oh,
comes
okay.
down onto me. One of the things, and I already knew, I am very self-aware, and you already know this. I'm very self-aware. It's the action, and not like the doing, right? But the living in our the behavior to match the belief, right? It's exactly that. But uh, I was asked yesterday, why aren't you all in on your business? Why are you doing all these other things? And I'm like, hello, because I have to keep the lights on. So I have to do the things. I have to do the things. But I also know I have 5 clients right now sending me in 5 different directions. None of them.
Mm.
Well, I wouldn't say none of them, but there's 5, and because uh it would be like if I was a chef, a taxi driver, a painter, like it's that different, right? For each
Right.
five of, so it's not where I want to be, but I have to, and I feel secure financially right now based on this, but I know two have to go. And that's the goal at the end of the quarter. And that and not that doesn't feel okay to me at all. But it is exactly what is required to be present, like what you were saying. And then that the two will make space for now what I believe, what I believe right now is my ideal client. And then I am only focusing on my ideal client. So even the goal of reduction sounds insane to me.
How are you getting your own way of it?
How am I getting in
How
my
are
own
you
way?
how are you getting in your own way?
Because of that feeling of it's all up to me. And I don't want to disappoint anyone. Because yesterday I was having the conversation with one, I know this is not right. Not in a values way, not in an immoral way, this isn't an alignment way. And yet I'm a very challenge accepted kind of person. Is that, do I I don't want to fail the person, and I don't want to leave something undone or unfinished, even apparently if it wasn't mine to complete anyways.
So if it's to be, then it's up to you, is the way that you're coming at whether it's this challenge or the business. But yet you shared with me a very different story of what last year was like. It sounded like, I don't even know how all that happened. It was, you used the words manna, and I was resting. I was open, and things came and showed up. It wasn't through your efforting. It wasn't through, I've made up my plan. This is how it's going to be. It sounded to me like you loosened your grip on the way life had to be,
Right.
and you actually experienced the journey of that, and were taken care of. Is that accurate?
It is accurate.
I feel a but in there.
It's not a but. It's I'd like more evidence, but the only way to gather more evidence is to do it the same. Like
Why do
have
you
the
want
same
more evidence?
posture.
Why do you want more evidence?
Oh, I don't know. There should be enough here based on 44 years of evidence. It um
What do you imagine evidence doing for you? If you had more evidence, what do you imagine on the other side? Now I've got the evidence. What do you imagine that giving you?
I guess I would assume that I would feel more at ease. I would be more willing to accept, but the only way to gather evidence is to lean into what the evidence is there based on the being, right? Or going into the same process, the same uh, reality that I experienced, just in a different way. Um, I very, I very much remember the first time when I was out there on a leadership team in your house. Uh, and I don't remember what the question was, but I had admitted or said that I was having I was trying to receive abundance or accept abundance, believing that abundance could exist for me or something along those lines. And this has been a journey because up until that point, because your reaction to that, and then since then, as you know, other people have come into my sphere, thanks to Mr. John Glon himself. when when you see the light bulb based on, you know, what you're experiencing or saying go off, I just remember that very clearly because I was like, oh, you understand what I'm saying. And most of the people in my world are not going to use that kind of language. And that language is actually very new to me. And I feel like, and I mean, you and I don't know what, we may talk 2 times, 3 times a year, but even though I look to you as someone that is much farther along in the journey, uh, and much more accepting of the truth, I feel like as we've talked, you've come to like one more layer, right? You've peeled off one more layer of like what you are about to do, and thus have an understanding of what what I'm experiencing, and can be encouraging as well. And so the people, like I was explaining uh to someone yesterday who is also like this, uh it can be very wah, right? Until it's not anymore. Until it's like, wow, what they're saying, what they're experiencing, that's a true thing. But not everybody's experiencing that because not everybody's accepting that. And that's just the difference. And yet internally, I can feel like my gut tensing. It's like uh it's so real, and yet someone can create a completely different reality for themselves. Even though this is I'm talking blue pill, red pill.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a possibility, we all are creating our own reality.
Right.
We think that it's not. One of my friends calls it a reality tunnel. It's like we're all living our own reality tunnels. But we think that your reality tunnel is my reality tunnel, but it's not. Like you can experience something completely differently, like the temperature of this room. If you were in this room with me and I have it set at 71, you might say you're cold, and I might
Right.
say I'm warm. Who's right? We're both right. It's both true. It's true. Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true. Three things can be true.
Right.
Four or five, infinite,
Yes, definitely.
right? And that's the truth of my experience of what I'm experiencing right now. And going back to what you were sharing before, it's that the evidence piece, right? If I have evidence, on the other side of evidence is ease. What if we collapse time right now? As a possibility, just took out the evidence piece and practice being at ease right now instead of waiting till to get way down
Right.
there to get at ease. Because if that's what we really want, to be at ease, I'm creating ease. I'm trying to create being at ease by being under tension, by striving, by pushing, by forcing, by trying to change and alter reality to something other than it is. I can only speak to this because I have a lot of personal experience of trying to do that.
Right. Yes, and I can't even you've said you were very rigid, that you were very controlling, that and I cannot imagine like imagine it. But I also know that you couldn't speak to this the way that you do without going through the process of being, right? Of letting your curiosity unfold into what all is possible. And exactly what you're saying. So I had this experience yesterday too. And so so part of that dream list, what came up as a theme for me was relationships, calling, and legacy, I think was what it was. Oh no, it was relationships, calling, and freedom. That was the interlane theme of my dreams list. Well, based on what ChatGPT said once ChatGPT read my dreams list. But it was accurate. And yesterday I my I was completely out of whack of everything that I was trying to accomplish, and I was still at 7 o'clock last night. Like, let me just get this one thing done, and it was also because I had made a commitment, and but I had over committed myself, so that's what happened, and I, on a whim, started a book club that has grown into almost 20 people. And it started last night. It's virtual. All
Okay.
people across the nation on this, and I'm leading it. And last night, I realized because I was completely all out of whack inside. I was just screaming. My body was screaming. And I was like, I'm never going to get to sleep tonight because I'm not going to be able to turn off this cortisol, adrenaline craziness. And I got on this book club, and within 20 minutes, everything was starting to come off of me. I could just
Hmm.
feel the ease and the tension and uh, that presence that you're talking about. And it's very similar in this conversation that we're having because I just realized that I'm really not thinking about anything that I'm saying. And actually, I
Beautiful.
usually chastise myself for that. You're speaking without thinking. That's not a good idea. And yet I don't feel like I would take anything back. But exactly what you described is what is happening. And there is something about responding to somebody else. There's something about being relational. Like I said, the collaboration and choosing to be with people who are aligned, right? Like that, not just spending time with people for the sake of spending time with people, because people are my drug. I would say they are my addiction. They're my biggest distraction. But there there's something to that. And
Yeah.
so there's evidence.
So now you're on the other side of evidence.
That's right.
Can I share with you something that occurred for me as you were sharing that?
Okay.
So when I hear something that's resonates as true, I feel a resonance in my body. I feel an electric feeling in the back of my neck that goes out to my arms and legs, and it just radiates. It's kind of like goosebumps exponentially. And I felt that as you were talking just now, and it occurred for me that's what this podcast is for you. That this is the time when you don't script, you don't strategize. When you're in this, you're not thinking about who's next or what the girls are gonna do. Like, you're just here to see what comes up. Like, neither one of us have a sheet of paper that say anything about what we're gonna talk about or what we're not following all these things. There might be a couple of intentions, but the idea is that we're letting the conversation go and we're just being with what is. And that
Right.
this is your sacred container, this is your sacred time that you give yourself permission to be relaxed and at ease with what occurs.
No, yep, that is true. That is very, very accurate. Okay. This was good. I do have one scripted question, if you'll allow
Oh,
it. All right. What I wanted to get into soul school. So what? So I have two. Can you just give like a brief synopsis of that. That is the kind of the next layer or level I need to uh, relinquish my children into their own, and especially at the ages that they are. I feel more and more that is important. We all watched your soul school you were at a conference in Arizona, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So they all got to see and listen, so they all know what's possible now. So, can you give a little bit of a description? And are you finding others as you're in soul school that are doing something similar?
Yes. So we are finding other people that are opening up to perspectives. The core of what Soul School is, it's for each of us in our family, Bill and I and our 4 children, to know more of who we are, whose we are, and why we're here. So who we are, the state of being that we're bringing into our everyday, like being conscious about what we're creating, knowing that we're children of God. I'm not here for my purpose, I'm here for His. And we relate to each other in that way. And all the disturbances that come up in the day, that's what we use to reorient. And why we're here is the passion and purpose that He's planting in our heart to take action on. So it's helping to cultivate an environment where we consciously choose what we want to learn and when we want to learn it at the speed we want to learn it. Because I know from my own experience, when I am told to learn something, I usually resist it. I usually don't like it. I try to cram it, and I get it in here. I got good in the game of school. I memorized a lot of things, but I didn't. It never dropped. It never dropped in from my head and my heart. So I don't remember it, but I remember the experiences, the thing that I wanted to learn. And so now in our adult life, both Jill and I, like when we want to learn something, we tend to learn. We go all in. We like nobody tells us to do it. Like we learn when we absorb it. We start practicing. We talk about it. We're excited about it, and it sticks. And it didn't feel like effort. And that's what we want to cultivate for each one of us. So for the last 4 years, we've been practicing. It's been unfolding and evolving and changing. But for each of us to clarify that purpose and help to create an environment where we support each other and to furthering their purpose. My daughter's becoming a singer. My son is big into sports and statistics, and now he wants to get his own job. So he's like creating this to learn a lot about money and trading and everything else, day trading. I don't know anything about that. Um, and but he's like, we're creating an environment. Like when they start saying, they start declaring and putting it out there of like, hey, this is what I want to learn. We then know how to support each other. And so that's the environment that we're creating. And then through travel and experiential adventure, we're bringing history to life by going to different places instead of reading about it or just watching YouTube videos. We're bringing it to life, like going to the Acropolis in Greece, going to the Colosseum in Rome, and experiencing going on tours. My daughter started taking notes for the first time ever on something in history. She all of a sudden brought a notebook, got so excited at Pompeii that she wrote a fill up entire notebook while we were on the tour and came back and summarized it back to us. And she's just so fired up. Now she's got a note taking ability that we couldn't have taught her to do. But she learned it on her own. She learned it. She got interested. And so it's creating those environments for those things to occur. We drop suggestions and ideas. Jill calls it strewing. We strew different ideas and see what gets picked up on it or what doesn't. It's like, and being okay. It's like nothing gets touched. Cool. Like I'm not taking it personally. Like, right. We're just creating these different environment for the love of learning to be cultivated. And yes, we are finding others that are wanting to do this too. Um, and there is no this like system or structure for it.
Right.
It's really what
Freedom.
it is. It's choice. It's the willingness to question something that I have never been willing to question that everybody else is doing, or this is just the way life is. For us, that started with education for our family and educating in a different way. Because what we learned from, if you saw in that video, it's that we learned from one of the roots of the word education is educare, which means to learn from within in Latin. And it dawned on us at that time that that's the education system is designed the other way, from the outside in. All the things you don't know that you need to know. So you start consuming all this outside information, you learn to ignore the inside. And so we're flipping it on its head for our family, focusing on the inside, and then going to the outside when we turn our conscious focus to that. Like, okay, yeah, if I want to become an engineer, there's probably a further education on that. Good idea. If I want to become a surgeon, yeah, I probably want to go learn how to do that. But not because I'm told to go do it, but because like that's where it's coming from first.
Right.
That's our great experiment for our family.
Okay. So that one, I can completely see your passion in all of that. So I've been excited for your family, but anytime I bring it up, I can see the joy uh in that. And that is exactly what I am looking for when I'm interviewing someone, right? Okay, the learning aspect of it, like this is my trajectory because I love it, and the enthusiasm that you just had for that's when I know that whatever I'm hiring for is exactly what this person needs to be doing. I don't even care what job it is. I don't care if it's answering phones or whatever it is. There needs to be some kind of light that comes on when for and sometimes it's seasonal too, right? Like sometimes what you are enjoying in that moment or whatever career choice or whatever is seasonal, but it's bringing you joy in that season. So, but I haven't seen that in a minute. So that's why I honed in on that. And that is where the ideal client journey or question has come up for me, because people really have to care about that in order for me to want to work with them or to see value in what I'm doing.
Oh.
And I am, like I said, that's another layer for me to know. Well, another layer where behavior needs to follow belief as far as what I believe about education as well, for sure. So I'm going to ask this, but you might have just displayed it. What is currently bringing you joy?
What is currently bringing me joy? Living from my heart, not from my head. My intention for this year is to focus on the small things.
Okay.
And my intention this year is to focus on the small things and bring a smile to God's face, whether anybody else knows or not. And so that's in the little moments. It's a goofy look at myself in the mirror. It's the playing or listening to my daughter in her new song in the guitar. It's giving myself permission to do things that are wasting time and to have those connection moments in the areas where I previously wouldn't give myself the permission.
Ah, yes.
So it's cultivating the spirit of joy, curiosity, and play for me, not to do anything else for anybody else, but to cultivate that because I believe our children are more innately connected to that. And it slowly kind of gets beaten out of them by the way of the world. I'm letting them teach me to get back to that.
Ah, okay.
So they are becoming my teachers in this way.
Yes. And I think, yes, we can definitely. I just heard something yesterday about uh, being children of God and what that actually means. And the picture that was painted was a Christmas day full of adults versus a Christmas day full of children, it's a completely different experience, right? Because they know how to exude that joy. They don't care about looking undignified, right?
They're not thinking.
Right.
They're being.
Right. Exactly.
They don't care what anybody else thinks.
Yes. Yes, that is so
But
true.
somehow we do when we get older. So, like, that's dropping that idea as much as I can.
Yes, I know,
Mhm.
and that I think this so have you seen Inside Out too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Great
so
movie.
it's that puberty stage, it explained so much to me if embarrassment and anxiety and those things show up, and I think that's probably the season, a very influential season, right, in a child's life to be able to remind them that they can be children. They can still be exuberant in their joy and those things. And actually, I thought about that a little bit, but I didn't think about that now. And again, this is the stage of life I'm in, and I've been very resistant to uh, those changes in my children. So there is a way to navigate that based on exactly what you said, because even if they don't feel comfortable outside those doors right now expressing that, I can make them comfortable inside this home
You can
expressing
create
that.
the environment in your home.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
that's the point of old school, using all of life for learning and creating the environment within our relationships, and the home is wherever we are.
Right. Right. Yes. Okay. I,
It happens to be right now in this physical place that's a blessing, but it's wherever we are. When we rescheduled this podcast, and thank you for your grace on that, we were on our direct flight back from Arizona.
oh yeah.
That was a 4-hour flight that took us 48 hours to get home. 48 hours, 2 overnights from Arizona. It was when the ice storms hit that week. And so we ended up in Newark and Charlotte and everywhere else. But the point is that we were looking like, is it what we wanted to happen? No, but it was what was happening. We said, well, what's the beauty in this? What's the blessing in this for us? So we get extra time together. We get extra time to connect. We had conversations that we wouldn't have had. And it's the opportunity to drop our expectation of it needing to happen some other. We got slappy, we got goofy, like there's just different things that showed up, and we create our experience. And like that's the journey.
Yes. Exactly.
That's the practice.
Thank you so much for this conversation. I knew it was a divine appointment, and you just highlighted that again because the first conversation um, was rescheduled, and I was in definitely a different mindset then. I hadn't had some of the experiences that I had leading up to this. So I am grateful for you always being open to listening to me and asking me questions, because I'm typically asking most of the questions, and I feel more comfortable on that side. But yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your openness, your love, your willingness to explore. And I just so acknowledge you for the mother that you are to your 4 children, and stepping into living what is alive for you. That's an inspiration to me.
Thank you. I will definitely receive that.
When's the last time you were working and completely lost track of time? Recently, this happened to me at a coffee shop. I was planning to work for a couple of hours, and 6 hours later, I realized I was still there. Not because I had to be, but because I was working in my working genius. What if more people got to work that way? That's the idea behind Enjoy Workforce Solutions. Recruiting built around how people are wired to work, so the right role energizes them and your team feels the difference. Discover what that could look like for your organization. Visit Enjoy Workforce Solutions.